Hello, my name is Stephen Thomas, and this is another video in my series on Azure Integration Services and hybrid options. In this module, we're talking all about the Azure Service Bus. In this video, we're going to cover receiving messages via peak lock and dead letter support with Azure Logic Apps. There's two different ways to receive messages from a Service Bus queue using Azure Logic Apps. The first method is the receive and delete method. This does a destructive read of the message off the Service Bus queue. In doing so, messages are removed from the queue as soon as it hits the wire. This causes a possibility of a transmission failure could cause a message loss. So this is something you need to account for if you use this approach. This type of approach is great for low value or short-lived messages, such as messages that are like a stock quote, for example, that only have value for a very short amount of time. This is not the approach you would want to use for something like a customer order. That leads us into peak lock. Peak lock does a non-destructive read of the message off the Service Bus queue. This will lock the message and ensure that it is not picked up by another consumer that may also be receiving messages from that same Service Bus queue. Messages must explicitly be actioned on before the lock expires. This could either be complete the message, which would remove it from the queue, release the lock, which would allow another consumer to pick up the message, or move the message to the dead letter queue. Now there is a maximum lock duration, which is 5 minutes. This is set by the Service Bus. If you need to hold the message longer than 5 minutes, you can explicitly renew the lock on that message. So what is the dead letter queue used for? Usually the dead letter queue is used for messages that are not able to be processed through the main processing channel. You would move a message to a dead letter queue to have like support take a look at the message, for example. The dead letter queue is essentially a second queue inside a queue or topic subscription. These can be managed through the queue itself, so you can see the messages in the dead letter queue right in the queue, or you can write a Logic App process or some other consumer to receive messages off the dead letter queue of your main queue or topic subscription. This way you can automate the support process of messages in the dead letter queue. Now there are a few pitfalls that you want to keep in mind when using peak lock. First off, there is a max delivery count. I believe the high limit is 5,000. It defaults to 10. This is the amount of time someone can take a lock on the message and try to process it. After the max delivery count, the message is moved to your dead letter queue. Another thing to keep in mind when dealing with peak lock is that inside your Logic app, a lot of times you have default retry policies. This could, in many cases, extend your Logic app processing time beyond your lock expiration. So you'll want to keep in mind when working with like the HTTP call, for example, if it hits a retry, what's going to happen to your lock on your message in your service bus. And we'll take a look at this in the demo. With that, let's dive into our demo. We're going to take a look at peak lock and dead letter support inside of Logic Apps. I've now jumped over to my virtual machine and logged into my Azure portal. I've already created a Service Bus namespace in a past demo, so I'm going to continue to use that. I'm going to add a new queue so we can take a look at some of these features that impact a peak lock. I'm going to call the queue peak lock. And first we'll want to look at this max delivery count. As we talked about in the slides, this determines how many times the queue will allow the message to be retried before it will end up moving it to the dead letter queue. And you can see here it says, oh, the limit was up to 2,000. So anywhere between 1 and 2,000, I'm going to set this at 5. And the next setting here that is going to impact us is this lock duration. For purpose of this demo, I'm going to set this to 30 seconds. And you can see here it tells me it can be anywhere 5 seconds to 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and set it like that. The rest of these properties here don't really have any impact on what we're going to be talking about. I'm going to go ahead and create that Service Bus queue. And while that is being created, I'm going to jump over to our standard edition Logic app. And I've already created one here called Peak Lock Demo. I'm going to jump in and use this workflow and go into Designer. And under Add Trigger, I want to select an in-app connector and search for Service Bus. And here's my Service Bus in-app. And here I have my, when a message is available in a queue, this would be the read and destroy mechanism. So the single pole, and this is my peak lock. So I'm going to want to select peak lock. And you'll see here it's already populating with my queue names. That's because I'm using essentially integrated authentication. I've used managed identity for this logic app and already set that up in a previous demo. So all the authentication is already taken care of for me. If this wasn't here, you would have to create your connection for the first time. I'm going to say peak lock and hit save. And that's all I really have to do for that. But let's do something after I receive that message from the peak lock. Let's make an HTTP call. And one of the favorite sites I like to demo is http://stat.us. And this is a site you just do /200 and it's going to return you a 200. If you wanted to simulate 404, for example, you just do /404 and that's what it returns to simulate that. I'm just going to do a post to that location. And last, when I get a response back, go back into Service Bus. And in my in-app, I'm going to complete the message in the queue. To complete the message in the queue, you have to give it a queue name and the lock token, which is going to be a property when I first create the pull of the message for the peak lock. So it's when a message is available in a queue peak lock, and I want the lock token. Simply supply that lock token, and it's going to complete that message for me. So now I'm going to save that, and let's jump over to our queue. And I'm going to jump into the queue I just created, go to Service Bus Explorer, and I'm just going to go ahead and send a message to this queue. And it doesn't matter what I send. And hit send. And going to receive real quick. And you can see here everything's already completed out of here. Let's jump over here. What I'm just doing is showing you how that processed through our logic app. And that was picked up. It does get picked up almost immediately into our logic app because we are using that in-app connector instead of a polling-based connector. And we can jump in here. And we see, sure enough, it did run through our HTTP call and complete the message from the queue. And as we saw over here, it is verified there are no messages in the queue, nothing in our dead letter queue. So all's happy there. So let's take a look at what happens if we do hit a retry in this HTTP call and then build out our workflow here to be a little more resilient. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to change this to a retry scenario, which is going to be a 500 error. And go ahead and save this. Going to go ahead and drop another message in my queue. Going to hit send. And do a refresh here. And we see a message in our queue. And this is going to represent the message that is going to be in our peak lock condition. So I'm going to jump back over here. Show our running workflows. We see we have one running here. And if we dive into this to get an idea of what's going on, so we have put a lock on our message in the service bus queue, which is what we saw, still having the message in the queue. And we are still running here on our HTTP, and we're going to be in a retry mode because we are returning that 500 error. Default retry policy is incremental 4 retries over about a minute and a half, I remember right. But if you remember, we set that lock duration at 30 seconds. So that means after 30 seconds, the lock's going to release, and we're going to see what's going to happen here. I'm going to jump back here to my running workflows. Let's do a refresh. You can see here I have another instance that started. And then you can see they're pretty much 30 seconds apart, and that represents here exactly what I just talked about. So that lock had been released in the 30-second interval, and now another workflow was able to pick that up and consume that message. I'm going to let this continue to run for a few more retries, and I'm going to jump back in about 2 minutes. Okay, it's been a few more minutes now, and I wanted to show you what was running here, you can see here we have messages that are starting to fail. That's because the retry interval is finally at the end, so it's ending in a fail condition. Jump back over here, show you sure enough that message is still here. Delivery count you can see is 3. We'll do a refresh now. It's gone. The delivery message is totally out of there. If I go over here to take a peek at the dead letter queue, you can see my max delivery count, which I had set at 5, has hit. So it moved that message here to the dead letter queue, and it is my message high error case that I submitted. Jumping back over here, you can see this is definitely not the behavior that we would want in a peak lock scenario. These are failing out because it is airing out after retry interval of that HTTP call. So let's go ahead and let's make some adjustments to our workflow so that our peak lock is going to work as we would expect. Just for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to come in here and set my retry logic to none for this. And retry policy was the default. I'm set it to none. So the first time it hits an error scenario, it is going to throw an exception. And now that I've removed that retry policy, let's think about what we want to do in this workflow. Well, we definitely don't want to complete the message. In this case, we want to just dead letter it right away and have somebody else take a look at why that message in this workflow didn't complete successfully. So I'm going to accomplish that by adding a new action here. For Service Bus. And in my in-app, I'm going to do see more. And I'm going to select dead letter a message in the queue. And in this case, I'm going to select my queue. And again, I'm going to give it my lock token. But in this scenario, I only want this to happen if the HTTP request has an error in the process. So in this case, I want to adjust the run after properties. Can do that under settings, and under run after, I want to select an action, my HTTP action, and not select the complete a message in a queue. And I do want to change the settings so it is if it's timed out, skipped, or it's failed, and no longer is successful. And you'll see my workflow has adjusted to account for this. So the happy path will be down here, complete the message in a queue. The unhappy path of any sort of exception will dead letter the message right away. So I'm going to save this. So this is kind of like what you would see in a try-catch scenario, in the sense that we're trying this and then we're going to catch the error down here, not really catching the error, just reacting to it. But peak lock is generally used with scope shapes in a larger workflow with a try-catch type of pattern there. So let's go ahead and let's run this again. I'm still set up to my error condition of 500 there. Let's send a message. Hi, test error 2. Go ahead and send that. Going to do a refresh here. And still we have our 1 in our queue, so it's going to be running for just a second. Do a refresh again, and now we see nothing in our queue, 2 on our dead letter. And we see here, sure enough, here's our second message. Test error 2, it did dead letter right away with no chance for it to run a second time. So we can come over here, take a look at our workflow. And we see this time that we have a failed workflow. But this time, instead of, did identify this as failing, but then it did follow its compensation logic that we identified to dead letter the message right away. So now in this case, support be able to be notified of this event and dive in there and take a look at why this workflow had an issue. So this was just a quick look at using the peak lock inside of a logic app. And this used the standard edition logic app with the in-app service bus connector. There is a couple different connectors. I outlined that in a previous video, so check that out if you have questions. And with that, I'm going to jump back to our slides. Just a little bit more information if you'd like to learn more about logic apps and Azure Integration Services. You can always reference my website at stephenwthomas.com/learn. This is where I keep all the latest learning information in one place for anybody who is interested. And I also have 4 Pluralsight courses available, which you can find them by searching author name, Stephen Thomas. And I have 4 classes. Some of them might be a little bit dated, but the content in them is very relevant to what you'll see and build today inside both consumption and standard edition Logic apps. As always, feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.